We have brand new information from the war in Iran. The U.S. has shut down its embassies in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Beirut because of drone attacks as Iran retaliates. New satellite images show damage at an oil refinery in Saudi Arabia after it was hit by Iranian drones. Another image appears to show damage at a drone base in Iran here. We are also learning that Israeli troops are now operating on the ground in Lebanon. Israel is ramping up its campaign against Iran-backed Hezbollah. And hundreds of people have died across the Middle East.
President Trump has suggested this is just the start of a relentless campaign that could last more than a month. NBC 10 political reporter Lauren Mayk has been monitoring the very latest developments and joins us now in studio with an update. Lauren.
And, Lena, we are learning more from the administration today about what led up to the strikes on Iran. And right now, senators on Capitol Hill are inside a classified briefing about this war. Take a look. This is a live picture from Capitol Hill where reporters are waiting to hear from senators coming out of this briefing. When they show up, we'll know that briefing is over. And this follows briefings yesterday for congressional leaders, including Senator Mark Warner, who this afternoon called the Iranian regime awful, but questioned the endgame.
I think this mission, which again was a war of choice, I will continue to make the point, there was no imminent threat to the United States. And so President Trump has gotten us into a war of choice. How is he going to get us out of it? And what are his ultimate goals he's trying to accomplish? And we have not heard that yet.
Administration officials today discussed more of the negotiations with Iran before the strikes. Senior administration officials saying Iran was trying to buy time to get a nuclear weapon. Now, the president today addressed the run-up to the strikes in a meeting with the German chancellor in the Oval Office.
Based on the way the negotiation was going, I think they were going to attack first, and I didn't want that to happen. So if anything, I might have forced Israel's hand, but Israel was ready and we were ready, and we've had a very, very powerful impact because virtually everything they have has been knocked out now.
The president also today on social media said, if necessary, the U.S. Navy will start escorting tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, and that he has ordered the Development Finance Corporation to provide risk insurance. Now, this comes amid concerns about the war's impact on oil and gas prices. I'll be back at 5 o'clock as we continue to monitor developments. Jacqueline?
We'll see you then, Lauren. And people are already seeing that impact at gas stations across the U.S. According to Gas Buddy, 20 to 25% of the world's oil supply travels through the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has threatened to attack vessels in the strait, cutting off the supply chain. And we're already starting to see an impact across our region. AAA reports gas prices in Philadelphia jumped nearly 9 cents overnight. That's 18 cents higher than the average this time last month. An upward trend, experts warn, could continue if the strait remains closed.
Gas prices nationally now up over 12 cents a gallon just in the last week. And by later this week, we could see a weekly increase that eclipses the 20-cent a gallon mark.
Experts at Gas Buddy explain that gas prices will continue to rise with every day that ships aren't able to move oil through the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, from gas prices to the stock market, I'm Matt Lucia here in the Lime Center. It was a very turbulent day in the stock market. The markets just closed about 8 minutes ago, and you can just see how everything was unfolding here, just going up and down. At the low of the session, at around 10:30 this morning, the Dow was down more than 1,200 points. It eventually came back and shed some of the losses, but finished down about 403 points. Now, this, again, was the roller coaster of the Dow. You can see it more in a graph format, where you can see this is what it looked like yesterday, and then this huge drop here this morning, and then this is where it started to come back a little bit and ended out there at around 48,502. Now, as we look at the other indexes here, so NASDAQ, S&P 500, they were all down as well, shedding about a 0.9% there for the S&P 500. So again, all of these are down. So what went up? Well, shares of energy companies as well as oil and gas, those are up as well, Jackie.
A turbulent day on Wall Street. Yep. Matt, thank you.